This is kind of random, but do you ever buy sealed Pokemon collections? No. But you did just remind me. This video I watched earlier, I have it in this tab here. This is crazy. It's not necessarily a full sealed collection. She does have sealed product, but Pokemon has now reached the point where it's like a full-blown like luxury like display of wealth. So this is the Jolina Giselle collection, and it's being touted as like the largest and most valuable collection. I don't think that's true. If I remember correctly, there's a Saudi Arabian royal family member who's reportedly got the most valuable collection of Pokemon cards, but he doesn't want to publicize it. So of the public collections, this might be the largest and most valuable, but I don't think it's full bore the most valuable. But check this shit out.
Amazing collection ever seen here in Switzerland. This is just a small part of it, and trust me when I tell you, it's like huge. Over 60,000 cards and products of the Jolina Giselle collection. I mean, for me as a collector, we have here the Illustrator Pikachu not one, but two times. Even the
it is crazy.
That is the first time it got graded. Yeah, so it's super crazy. I'm Thomas Kovac. I own a store in Zurich, Amazing Toys, and I'm in the hobby.
No idea where the wealth comes from for Jolina Giselle.
And it's not only my hobby, it's my job. I own the store online.
2 Illustrator Pikachus is wild. Oh, actually, you don't know the half of it. What's even more wild, it's not just 2 Pikachu illustrators. This one, this 9, is the first ever graded Pikachu illustrator, which is why it's not PSA or anything. It's literally the first illustrator card to ever get graded. It's fucking absurd what she has.
It is the first time it got graded.
Oh, he even says
so
it here.
It's super crazy. I'm Thomas
I didn't even hear him say that.
I own a store in Zurich, Amazing Toys, and
yeah, it is a very cool
for the
card.
past 25 years. And it's not only my hobby, it's my job. I own the store, online shop, Amazing Toys, and I'm proud to show you all of this collection. This is just a small part of it, and trust me when I tell you, Illustrator Pikachu is a small part of it. There's way more in this collection. We have back here.
I will tell you something though. I wish she displayed it better. I don't really like this feel. It feels very sterile, very like almost callous from Destiny. I don't know, just a little gaudy. I think there would have been a much cooler way of presenting this collection. You'll see what I mean.
Favorites, gold stars. We have all of the gold stars. It's just some highlights in English, PSA 10, also in Japanese PSA 10, and way more, which you will see later down the road. For me, as like, I breathe Pokemon cards. When I see this, it's for me, I've never seen this at one spot and place, and that's why we have also here.
Scalper's
like
already planning an Ocean's 11 heist.
I don't know if you can see this anywhere.
I don't think so, man. Judging from this facility that they're in, I feel like scalpers would have a real hard time getting in here. They'd probably get shot by 15 phalanx turrets.
On the world, the University Magikarp, the Tamamushi University Prize, 5 times a Gyarados or Gyarados PSA 10. It's basically every Charizard you can think of. It's here, and it's from the even with the PSA because we have
these gold walls open to just more PSA 10 Pokemon cards. So this is the Legendary Collection, full reverse holo PSA 10s. And she has that for like Crystal over here. But the thing is, it's in just like a shoebox rack. Like, I just don't think this is a cool way to present it.
Legendary Collection PSA 10 set in reverse foil.
Pokemon scalpers are scum of the earth. Completely agree. Now, like I said, I don't know what Jolina Giselle does, but I saw that she also did an interview with this guy. She explicitly states that she doesn't and apparently will not sell anything from her collection. Obviously, I'm assuming she's buying from like scalpers and like some fucking scumbags. But at the very least, it seems like she's just doing this for herself. It's not even a publicly accessible collection. Like, you can't pay to go see it or anything. So, as far as the hobby goes, this one's on, like, the lower end of degeneracy. This is just someone who has absurd fucking wealth that dumped it all into Pokemon. God, do you see what I mean, though? it's just, I don't, like, you have reportedly 60,000 of, like, the most valuable Pokemon cards money can buy, and you display them like this. It just, there's so much room for improvement. You can make a whole terrarium out of your fucking slabbed cards. How would I display them? Oh, I would have, if I had something like this, I would 1000% have had, like, custom displays made for it. Something to highlight the cards and the story of the cards, and I'd have a lot more, like, character to it. So instead of just being, like, you know, fucking empty inventory just dropping out all of your PSA slabs, I'd have, like, I don't know, other cool things from the hobby. You know, like maybe the McDonald's Pokemon promotional products from back in the day, like the old gold things that aren't super valuable anymore today, but they're still really cool. Just to help emphasize the cool items. Like, this is just, to me, very bland. It doesn't have a whole lot of character to the display. You're just asking for scalpers to steal it at that point. Oh, I'd never do it. I mean, I don't have anything like this. I'm just saying, she is clearly in a position where money is no longer even a tangible thing. It's now just infinite unlock. She can do anything. I'm just surprised that she wouldn't invest more heavily in something very visually striking for this collection. Because this is, at the end of the day, just a closet and a couple of shoe racks that are filled with Pokemon cards. There's an interview that I think is on this channel. Oh, maybe not. That's her, though. I'm assuming she just comes from unimaginable wealth. Go to her website. Yeah, the website's weird. I went to the website. That's how I saw the interview, because I was so curious where this comes from. The website is a little odd. Like, in the history, I thought for sure it would say, like, the origin here, but instead it reads kind of like a Saturday morning cartoon villain kind of thing. One evening, almost casually, she asked the question, "Dad, couldn't you simply buy all the Pokemon cards? I think it would be really cool if we had them all." And that's the wholesome beginning to the most valuable collection ever. In her words. I don't think it's the most valuable collection ever, but it's the most valuable publicly displayed collection.
Jolina, thank you for having me here. I've already saw part of the collection, so I'm very happy that I can see it, and it carries even your name, and it even more has like a story from your childhood. So can you tell us a bit about the story of this collection and how it came to be?
Of course. Well, in school I was pretty shy and introverted, so I had a really hard time making friends. And I always brought something to school.
No, I don't think it's AI. If this was AI, I would be beyond shocked, because this guy, from everything I can see, is legitimately someone that owns a TCG shop, is in the community. It would be crazy if he just flushed everything down the shitter to do this promo piece for a complete AI sham. And again, you can't buy anything, so I don't see what the scam would be. Like, you can't spend money here. So it'd be a really weird thing to AI scam people with, because you get literally nothing out of it. How old is she? I don't know. She looks like maybe mid-20s or something, but I have no idea. I didn't look too deep into Jolina Giselle. From the very little bits I did look, I didn't find anything. So I really couldn't tell you. Where'd she get her wealth from? That's what I said, I have no clue. I briefly tried to find it, but there's no information on where it comes from.
To focus on myself, and one day there just happened to be Pokemon cards, and it sparked interest.
But I didn't finish this interview. I stopped, like, here. Maybe it's the last question she answers.
The other kids,
I don't know.
And that's how friendships form naturally and pretty playfully.
Is it true that as a little girl, you wanted to buy individual cards or trade individuals?
Unfortunately, no, because we like to keep the collection together, because that's what makes it so special. And if we were to sell it, only as a whole.
So, and why share it now to the public that this collection exists, which is basically for me also once in a lifetime?
We thought very carefully about it if we should go public with the collection or not, but we thought for the 30th anniversary it would be a real shame to keep it hidden, and we wanted to have something for the fans.
I mean, I'm a fan, but way out of my budget, unfortunately. If you were ever to sell this collection, what would the future owner of this collection need to bring that you could entrust this to him or her?
For us, it'd be super important that the future buyer would know what the collection stands for, because it's so much more than just Pokemon cards. It's about a promise my father made to me and always kept. And
Okay, that's very silly. That promise is, Daddy, why not just buy every Pokemon card? Daddy, every Pokemon card, please. I don't know, it's not exactly the most wholesome of promises. That shouldn't really be the story or the message behind it.
today it is the Jolina Giselle.
That's in her words, by the way. I'm not just making shit up. That is literally part of the history. Dad, couldn't you simply buy all the Pokemon cards? It'd be really cool.
Pokemon collection, the most exclusive and complete in the world.
Okay, so yeah, it doesn't explain where the money comes from. This lady literally didn't exist till last week. I know, actually popped out of nowhere with the video. But I'm gonna be honest, I think that lends more credibility to it being real, though. Because if Jolina Giselle was like some kind of influencer or like, I don't know, had some failed like schemes in the past and then all of a sudden happens to have the most valuable Pokemon collection ever publicly seen, then I'd be like, this is very sketchy, this is clearly a fucking sham, look at her history. But she comes out of nowhere and's like, we finally decided to go public with this collection, a collection that has unbelievable treasure to it. I feel like it makes it more believable. A Pokemon industry plant. Yeah. Actually, that would be pretty big brain. Because this is very clearly designed, like almost like a Chat GPT template for turning Pokemon into like some kind of Louis Vuitton like accessory, like a luxury fashion type thing. Or actually more appropriate to liken it to watches. It's designed the same way they would design like luxury watch spaces. So it could be, you know, maybe Pokemon's trying to make a play like, we need more Jolina Giselles out there with collections like this. How much would you guess the collection is worth? Haven't seen all 60,000 cards, but everything that's visible here, I think it's easily north of 20 million, probably like 25 million. This Pikachu illustrator alone is probably already like 3 by itself, and she's got 2, but this one's going to be more than this, because it's the first ever graded one. I feel like the story is real, she's real. The bigger question I have is, who is her family? Seems suspicious with how secretive it is. I would love to know. Yeah, I'm in the same boat. It's very fishy. There's only like 20-something illustrators, right? Yeah, I don't remember the exact number. It might actually be 20. Let me see. $39. There are 39 verified Pikachu illustrator cards. Look up the Giselle family. I tried, nothing came up. Because like when you look up Giselle, this is what I saw earlier. When you look up Giselle family Sweden, the first thing is Sweden charges man for selling wife to 120 men. And I was like, well, that's peculiar behavior. But it's definitely not her family. I couldn't find anything on the family. The dude on the website posing as a Swiss actor, though. Oh, this guy, who I assume is her husband? Or maybe boyfriend, I'm not really sure. They're Swiss, not Swedish. I thought they were Swedish. Is it Swiss? Doubt this will help us figure out who this family is, but you are correct. Kevin Lutolf is a Swiss model, and that is absolutely him there. He is not a small model either. Wow, actually very popular. Her dad worth at least 500 mil, because ain't no way he's giving his daughter 25 like that if he isn't. Oh, I mean, I think it's very... Brother, that's just the collection alone. This room... Like, just look at this room. This room alone is probably in like a fucking $30 million mansion. Like the chandeliers, the glass... Even just like the cupboardry, like all of it is very clearly an extraordinarily expensive mansion. There's a second floor up here that's just gaudy gold. This is a billionaire family. The question is, who though? In 1,000 years, anthropologists are going to think this Pokemon cards were like Sumerian tomes or something. True. That ain't no ordinary glass either. It's Italian Murano glass. How the fuck do you even know that? I'll take your word for it because you're speaking like an authority on the matter, but you can just immediately identify glass on sight? He made it. Yeah, dude out here glass maxing. Actually, I designed those for it. Also, it's sitting on top of pure obsidian. If you stack those up, you can go to the nether. The earliest mention of her Pokemon cards is on his Instagram, February 18th. It's got to be some kind of psyop. What was the mention? Was it like a hype-up thing? Or is it like a... So we just started collecting these Pokemon cards, me and my wife. Like, what is the mention? I mean, I feel like we could probably track it, right? By some of these purchases, these are very low pop cards. So, this is a relatively new video. I imagine as some of the, like, real OG collectors look at this, they'll be able to figure out who this is. So, like, this Pikachu Illustrator card, I have no doubt you can trace the transactional history of it. Or this PSA 8 Illustrator. These are incredibly low pop cards. People keep their eyes on these all the time. I'm just not deep into it like that, so I don't know where I'd be looking to find all of that info, but the real collectors know. So you could easily find out if this is some kind of like psyop and these are just like, I don't know, extremely wealthy zombies that are instantly trying to flip this to like a, you know, Saudi royal family member looking to expand their collection. Or if it is like she says and it's been like this lifelong journey over 30 years collecting this. Entirely possible they hired him for that shoot. Oh, yeah. Oh, that's really true. Can you come pretend to be like my boyfriend or something for my Jolina Giselle Pokemon collection tour? I'm crafting a fine narrative. That's very true. I didn't think of that either. That'd be so fucking sad. Jolina apparently did an interview on a Pokemon forum where she said the collection doesn't belong to her, it belongs to her father, who wants to remain private. She also said her family's not rich, they've just been collecting cards for over 10 years. Wait, where's that forum? I've got to see that. That's the biggest fucking load of barnacles I've ever heard. Family's not rich, just been collecting for 10 years. Golden Mansion, by the way. Even 10 years ago, by the way, these cards are still hundreds of thousands of dollars. Pokemon blew up recently, but these are still extremely expensive cards 10 years ago. What forum is that from? I want to take a peek. Oh, this is new, too. Oh, is this in response? Oh, this must be in response to the video going up. No confirmation that this is actually her, but I guess still read it. Hi everyone, so sorry for the delay. We've been so overwhelmed with everything, but now I'm finally here to answer your questions. Guinness World Record, would you apply? Yes, technically we could apply. We've decided not to. It's a long process. We also don't want to take a title away from anyone. To be honest, we're also just not that interested in it. What matters to us is sharing the collection with the public, as many collections like this stay hidden for years. Guinness World Records are pretty meaningless anyway, to be fair. I could buy that. Where's the collection from? Is this about money? We're honestly just a normal family from Switzerland. Nope, not true. Very, very, very rich. I don't know why she's trying to pretend otherwise. This collection didn't come from being some super creepy rich family, but from a lot of time, dedication, and consistency over many years. Of course, it costs money, but most of the cards were bought a long time ago, long before they reached the values they have today. That being said, I know I'm very lucky. My parents have always raised me to stay grounded and humble. They both started with very little and worked really hard for everything they have. So for us, this was never about money at all. It was simply a shared passion for Pokemon, and we never expected it to become this valuable one day. So when I first asked my dad if we could collect all the Pokemon cards in the world, I had no idea what that actually meant. I wasn't aware that Pokemon cards could be so expensive. I was just a 10-year-old completely obsessed with Pokemon, and somehow that obsession ended up taking over my dad as well. Why Pokemon? Seems like she's telling the same story that she told in that interview about helping her make friends. About her favorite Pokemon. Okay, here's something interesting. We've had the collection for a bit more than 10 years. And although Pokemon is still huge and pretty emotional part of our lives, we feel like we would be ready to pass it on to someone else. Okay, hold on. That being said, we would only sell it as a whole. A collection like this took an incredible amount of time and effort to build, and we don't want to break it apart. But of course, my own personal cards are something I will always keep, and I'll share those very soon. Alright, now it's looking significantly more fishy. They've had this collection for only a bit more than 10 years. That kind of flies in the face of like collecting it for a long, long time. Again, these cards are still... You're spending millions of dollars to have this collection 10 years ago. Shit, even if you bought this collection 20 years ago, you're still spending millions of dollars on it. These are extremely, extremely rare low pop cards. There's just no way. And it's apparently 60,000 cards. So now it's seeming like they are looking to try and find a buyer for it, which to me is probably the impetus for why they came forward with this collection video at all. All of those certs are old certs too. Not many new PSA cert cards are there. That's an interesting observation. Who owns the collection? Who's Jolina? Collection belongs to my family and was built by my dad over many years. I'm Jolina, his daughter, and I never claimed the collection was mine. I've seen some assumptions that I'm a model actor pretending to be a fake daughter, which is honestly so funny to me, but no, I'm simply his daughter. My dad prefers to stay out of the spotlight, so I ended up being the one to share the collection since it all started with me, and that's literally all there is to it. There's still a lot more questions. I'll do my best to check in here from time to time. I'm a normal student preparing for my final exams. Huh. I don't know what the Reddit stuff is that she's referring to here. You think the cards are fake or just the story? The cards are not fake. I truly don't believe the cards are fake because, again, you can check the certs yourself. It would be very difficult to fake that. Even if you were trying to do like slab switching, it would still be a hard sell. Because you'd have to... For this, it would be noticeable. So the cards are not fake. I do not believe these are fake at all. The story and everything kind of around it, that's where I believe there's a lot of red flags. I like how she says she never claimed the collection was hers, yet it's officially called the Jolina Giselle collection. The people they follow on Instagram range from Logan Paul to Crypto Dudes. If you look at the playlist on the channel, they made an entire short film for this. All very sad. An entire short film. Oh, wow. What? Okay, wait a minute. They got Fincher in here making a short film for the Jolina Giselle Pokemon collection. Wait, I'm all in.
On action.
Okay.
Jolina,
Where's the actual short film? This is just behind the scenes. Oh, here, let's see the trailer. Maybe that's the short film. Not rich, by the way. Normal Switzerland family, by the way.
I'm all in.
This isn't just a collection, it's a legacy. Ready for round 2?
Huh. Wow, this really is peculiar. Imagine they got Neil Blomkamp to direct this. That'd be cool.
The energy on set, it was so much fun, and especially during the robbery scene, Kevin and I laughed all the time. It was so funny.
Nice stunt. Good work, Kevin. So this is definitely just her house. I was wondering if this was going to be like a set or something. Like this is just the house they rented for the sake of this short. I think this is actually just her residence. If you're that rich, why even sell the collection? If you're that rich, why sell the collection? Brother, more money. What? Huh? Money, bro. What? There's still a lot of money out there that they don't have. It is weird. But again, like, I don't really see the fucking point. All of this to appeal to some crazy, gigantic turbo whale out there to buy their collection. It just feels absurdly over the top and unnecessary if that's the goal. It's very weird. It's all very weird. That's what rich people do, though. Do they? I don't know. I can't say I've seen a lot of rich people making a short film trailer to advertise their collection of Pokemon cards before doing a tour. That's pretty new to me. Like those fucking goobers that spend 50 mil on Jackson Pollocks and stuff, I don't see them making trailers to show you their Jackson Pollock, where they have Colonel Sanders fucking rappel through the window. I gotta get my hands on that Pollock! This is the fucking Rim Jimbo collection of Pollock paintings. Fucking world renowned. You're just not tuned into the scene. Eh, maybe. Will you buy it? Will I buy it? Brother, what the fuck? Yeah, I'll toss her an offer. I'll play ball. Did you see the update on that one judge? An attorney emailed him asking him to apologize to the IT guy, but the judge ordered the attorney to come to court. I did not see that. My boy Judge Nathan? He's saying, fight me in court? Wait, where's that? I need to see that follow-up. That sounds incredible. I just looked it up here, but everyone's still clowning on him for the IT guy thing. I want to see the follow-up. Oh, wait, no, here it is. I see it. Houston Chronicles got it. Any website that does this actually needs to be shut down. This needs to be criminalized ASAP. Preventing you from even reading an article without paying or making an account. I hate it. Hate it.
From a Harris County judge is sparking outrage. Tonight, an attorney says he was ordered to that judge's courtroom for emailing him about his conduct. KPRC 2 News reporter Jaewon Jung spoke.
You've got some nerve to reach out to Judge Nathan and expect to be civil? You didn't think it was going to get pugilistic? That's on you, brother. Nathan will throw down anytime, anywhere.
To that attorney, she joins us now live outside.
You got some nerve emailing Judge Nathan like that.
Only one speaking out tonight, Jaewon.
Yeah, that's exactly right, Keith. The president of the Harris County Criminal Lawyers Association is also speaking out. Now, the attorney I sat down with today says in his decades-long career, he's never had to send out an email to a judge about their behavior until now.
Okay, you didn't have to. You can let Nathan run wild in there like Hulkmania. I mean, you didn't have to reach out to him. You could continue to let fucking Big Bang Theory here go ballistic. And now you've awakened his wrath. Only yourself to blame.
By now, you've likely seen this viral video. It shows a tense exchange between Harris County Civil Court Judge Nathan Milliron and an IT worker.
This hearing is done.
She's asking for a sanction.
Deputy, remove her from my bench now.
Tonight, another video showing
You're about to be in
Milliron
cuffs,
speaking to an
is what he
attorney.
says next.
In his 52 years in law, attorney James Stafford says he's never seen a judge act this way.
His conduct was way out of hand.
Stafford tells me after watching this.
Okay. Now, let's just call a spade here. We have even covered another judge who went even a step further than Nathan when he actually threw down with one of the other attorneys and actually threw hands in the hallway. It's been done before. We've seen behavior like this from judges, and even more so.
Clip, he was so offended, he emailed Judge Milliron directly, telling him, quote, "I hope you issued him an apology for the way you treated him."
So the judge wrote, "You probably shouldn't be communicating with the judge ex parte on his judicial email address." Have you ever heard of something like that before?
I was not ex parte because I do not have any cases in his court.
Judge Milliron ordered Stafford to court on April 9th.
Oh, he tried to ex parte on him? Oh, shit. He said, all right, you wanna partay? I'm about to fucking shartay on you. Meet me in court, Buster. Bro, that's my boy Nathan, I'm telling you. He's got it, man. He's got it. The dog is in him.
Telling him he shouldn't be emailing a judge on his judicial email address.
Do you plan to show up in his court on April 9th?
Yes.
The email is not a valid order. has no legal enforcement.
Our organization...
Come on! Just fucking meet him in the Thunderdome. That'd be so good. I love this, though. As an officer of the court, you are ordered to appear before this court on April 10th. Nathan, what the fuck, man? You're not Judge Dredd. What a loser. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. Even tried to get him with the goddamn parlay, like it's Pirates of the Caribbean up there. Oh my. What an interesting specimen.
His judicial email address.
Do you plan to show up?
What was it actually? What was underneath that? I thought I saw something else underneath it. It was just the signature.
Address.
Do you plan to show up in his court on April 9th?
The email is not a valid order. Has no legal enforcement.
Our organization stands up for good judges who do the right thing and bad judges who don't.
Stafford isn't the only attorney speaking out. Brent Mayer, the president of the Harris County Criminal Lawyers Association, posted this video on social media.
The judge's behavior is appalling.
Mayer tells me Judge Milliron's order to Stafford was not only illegitimate, but sets a danger.
Man, you guys got to be careful dogpiling on Nathan here. That last name, Milliron's, about to be Big Iron in a second, bro. He's going to bring you into court and duel your ass. All these lawyers piping up, trying to chime in on Nathan's swag, like it's actually kind of outrageous. They won't appear in front of his court. The guy just said as much. He said it's not a valid order, so he's not going. Nathan's got him running scared.
Dangerous precedent.
Anytime anyone is going to criticize this judge for his behavior, are they going to get called in front of that judge and be subject to some sort of punishment or contempt because the judge doesn't like what they say? That violates our First Amendment rights.
And we went down Nathan's rabbit hole like a week or so ago. It's something he does often. Like, he is not afraid to do that. Just purely out of spite, he will refuse to look at or engage with things that are presented to him for people's cases if he just doesn't like them. If he doesn't like the cut of their jib, he'll just say, I'm not reading that, or I'm not looking at this, or nope, I won't do that, or you can't use that PowerPoint, I don't want to watch it, and just shut it down. So yes, that is exactly what he's going to do. It's the Uwe Boll method of arguing. Uwe Boll, famous director for farting dog shit out there. People used to criticize him. He used to make all those old video game adaptation movies that were terrible. And what he would do is he would challenge his critics to a boxing match. Nathan is Uwe Boll in a uniform.
I did also reach out to the State Commission on Judicial Conduct to ask for complaints against Judge Milliron, but the agency told me that information is not public. I also reached out to Judge Milliron to ask for comment, but he did not get back. We're live.
Oh, he's going to get back, though. I hope you're ready for your court date, by the way.
In downtown Houston tonight. Jaewon Jung, KPRC 2 News.
J1.
Thank you for the report, J1. I hope you're ready for handcuffs. You dare question Nathan? You trying to get a statement from Nathan? Huh. Must be a joke. Must be a joke. This ain't enough to impeach a judge for sure. Yeah, I don't know what that process looks like. I feel like, honestly though, I genuinely do feel like, based on the way he conducts his court, he is unfit to be a judge. Even outside of the IT guy thing, even outside of that. Like I said, there are multiple instances where he just outright refused to even look at things that were presented to him from people in court over cases. He refused to look at it and would even say, nope. Like one of them was about a PowerPoint. He said, we're not doing a PowerPoint. Just come up here without it. We're not doing it. I don't want to watch it. That kind of thing. Like that, you can't be a judge like that. You just can't. Or shouldn't, rather. I guess I can't say can't because I don't know the law around the judge, but it is completely unfit for his position. Get ready for your court date now, Charlie. I fucking dare you, Nathan! I'll see you there. I wouldn't go all the way out to Texas for that shit. Since I don't fly, that's a 22-hour road trip. They're gonna get your ass on Zoom. No, actually, Judge Nathan hates Zoom. Don't you remember when the translator was there and she was like a little like slow to translate things? He immediately kicked her out and insulted her. He doesn't like Zoom. He wouldn't use Zoom. This whole thing was about how they need to come in person. True, just fake a buffer. Can you imagine? He does actually challenge me to Zoom court and I just show up and I hit him with the Black Beetle challenge. And then he just blows a fucking gasket. I mentioned that judge and the fight, the honorable pugilistic throwdown between the judge and another attorney in court. It's something we went over on stream a few days ago. I figured I'll go ahead and drop that segment here for you as well since I mentioned it. It is incredible, and I think Nathan's not far away from doing something very similar himself. You remember that time a Florida judge got into a fist fight with a lawyer? Judge Murphy versus Andrew Weinstock? I vaguely remember that. We watched it on stream, if I remember correctly.
All right. If you want to set it for docket sounding, set it for docket sounding. I'm not waiving in any case. This is an emergency
if I
created
had
by
a
the
rock,
state.
I would throw it at you right now.
You know, this is
Stop pissing me off. Just sit down. I'll take care of it. I don't need your help.
No,
sit
you know
down.
what? I'm the public defender. I have a right to be here, and I have a right to
I
stand
said
and represent
sit
my
down.
clients.
If you want to fight, let's go out back and I'll just beat
Let's settle it right now. Come on, bitch. Let's ride. Don't worry. Just Judge Murphy disciplining the lawyer. Stay in your seats. Stay in your seats. This is normal. Is there another angle? I wish you could see the actual scrap. Who won the fight? That's a great question. Ooh, he got removed as a judge for this. Eek! Called it a total lack of self-control and an embarrassment to Florida's judicial system. Ew. The two men left the courtroom, met in the hallway. No video shows what transpired in the hallway, but the courtroom audio captured Judge Murphy saying, "Alright, you want to fuck with me," followed by sounds of the scuffle, which we heard. Andrew later requested the judge be arrested for hitting him twice in the face. Okay, judge definitely won. Andrew had to start whining about getting hit in the face. That was mutual combat, brother. You guys both agreed to the fight. Come on now. Judge Murphy got the W there in the fight, it seems. A woman seated in the back of the courtroom said, when the judge and lawyer entered the hallway, she saw Murphy grab Weinstock's collar with his left hand and raise his right arm as if he was going to throw a punch. Door closed before she could see any punches land, but heard a bunch of punches punch. Yeah. That's a hockey fight. Oh, nice. On this day, Weinstock said Murphy was clearly angry, but he did not think the judge would follow through on his threat to beat his ass. From the man who got his ass beat, it sounds like. Judge Murphy pinned him against a wall with his left arm and punched him twice with his right. Before the judge could hit him a third time, Weinstock said two deputies pulled Murphy on him. Oh, he got brutalized. Man, Judge Murphy rocked him. In his defense, Judge Murphy said Weinstock was rude to his clients and disrespectful to the judge, and that Weinstock was the aggressor who first hit him in the chest, saying he only took defensive actions. Well, I don't know about that. Bro said Angie. Whatever, man. It was an accident. Keep watching it. There's some more action. Is there? I thought I remembered this being it. Now do you see what you've done? You've made Judge Murphy have to bring down the long dick of the law himself. Thank you. There will be order in this court.
Man, I'm an old man.
We're going to have to beat it out of you.
All right. Your choices, considering there's probably going to be a changeover in personnel, are setting it for trial, which would be June 9th.
Yeah, that makes sense. Sorry, son, I beat the piss out of your lawyer, so he probably won't be handling your case any longer. I suggest you find someone else with a stronger chin, perhaps, if they want to challenge me again. His body is out back. You can find your public defender in the dumpster over there if you'd like to claim him for whatever reason. Might have been an organ donor. I want him as my judge. Well, sorry to tell you, that won't be happening. He's no longer a judge. Plus, I don't think you want the judge that will beat up your lawyer. It's probably not really a recipe for success for you. Unless, of course, we bring back trial by combat. Judge Nathan versus Judge Murphy, who you got? Oh, Judge Murphy all day. Nathan's not throwing bones, man. There's no way. He couldn't. There's no way he wouldn't be pugilistic. I already know it. Don't talk for me. I watch Jujutsu Kaisen. I want a lawyer that can throw hands. That's fair. That is fair. There are certain subjects I make a lot of content covering. There are just a handful of topics that always wiggle their way underneath my skin and grease my cheeks, and I can't fight the urge to yap about them, like a dog chasing a mailman, just going around barking at it. And one of them, one of the biggest, is people using Christianity as a means to exploit and abuse others. Corrupt pastors that are using the faith as a tool for their own self-gain and self-interest. I find it to be vile, evil, and unforgivable. So over the years, I've made tons of videos covering these instances. And just a couple days ago, I made that video going over Robert Morris. This demon was the former spiritual advisor to Donald Trump. He was also a Texas megachurch turbo pastor who recently pled guilty to molesting a 12-year-old girl numerous times. And he only got 6 months in jail for this. He is now out of jail and will be serving the next 9.5 years on probation in his luxury property. Now, maybe you can call me short and ugly, but I gotta tell you, I'll be honest with you sports fans, that doesn't sound like justice to me. That doesn't sound like punishment that fits the crime of molesting a 12-year-old girl numerous times. I feel like that should have been life in prison. But he got 6 months. I already blabbered about that out the wazoo, and I'm not here to just do it again. I wanted to do something a little different, because Robert Morris was Trump's former spiritual advisor. I want to show you his current spiritual advisor, because I truly think this administration is normalizing the epidemic of fake Christians that are just using the faith as a tool for their own enrichment. I believe it is full-blown, fucking full frontal, dangling right in your face, obvious blasphemy. It's not subtle, it's unapologetic. I mean, Jiminy Christmas, Trump was hawking and is still actively hawking Trump Bibles. Expensive Bibles for like 60 clams with Trump's name on them and numerous variants of it. They range in price from $60 up to $1,000, and also a little fun tiddlywink of lore here, they're printed in China. So they're made for less than $3 per Bible, yet he jacks the price up to $60 for the lowest plebeian edition of his Bible. But it goes all the way up to $1,000 for the one that has Trump's signature on the inside cover. Like, I just don't know how that's defensible from any real Christians. That is just completely unacceptable. These frauds worship Trump more than God. It's like textbook idolatry with the way they talk about and discuss Trump. Like, Nicki Minaj is a great example. She's a wonderful case study for this. She spent a significant amount of time squatting on top of the orb of confusion and debasing herself publicly, slurping for this administration, and eventually got in their good graces and received a Donald Trump-signed Holy Bible, calling it one of the most meaningful gifts she's ever received. Which is ridiculous, because Nicki Minaj has been very vocal about her faith in recent time. And I feel like anyone who is legitimately very proud of their faith as a Christian would receive a gift like that and be disgusted. There are some Bibles that get signed by like a pastor or someone who is genuinely in the faith and an active community member in Christianity in the local churches. That is something that I am very familiar with. That was something that I had seen when I was going to church, but they weren't sold. They were given to members of the congregation, and it was always just like, enjoy your Bible, or like, I hope I hope this resonates with you, and then signed by the pastor. This is Donald Trump planting his fucking name on top of the Holy Bible, literally going through the word Bible with his signature, making it seem as though he's the most important part of this gift, not the Bible itself. And yet Nicki Minaj is like, oh my God, it's amazing. Nicki Minaj, by the way, whose husband is a registered sex offender and her older brother is in the slammer serving 25 to life for sexually assaulting an 11-year-old child. Now, I'm not here just to talk about the Trump Bible. Like I said, I want to focus on his current spiritual advisor, Paula White, because I think she is the perfect example of this phenomenon and is serving to normalize this practice.
Wherever I go, God rules. When I walk on White House grounds, God walks on White House grounds. I had every right and authority to declare the White House as holy ground because I was standing there, and where I stand is holy.
To say no to President Trump would be saying no to God. And I won't do that.
This is a montage that kind of blew up a few months ago. A lot of people have seen this, and it shows some of Paula White Kane's more recent highlights about how she can declare the White House as holy ground because she walked there and God walks with her. And also, she proudly proclaims that saying no to Trump would be like saying no to God, and she's never going to do that. I had the longer section saved, but now that video's taken down, so I can't show you the whole context of that statement, but from what I recall, she was talking about how Trump has basically been chosen by God, so when Trump asked her, to come aboard, saying no to Trump in that position would have been like saying no to God, which she refuses to do. That is an outrageous thing to say. That is genuinely, by all possible definitions and interpretations, blasphemous. To say that kind of statement about saying no to a man is like saying no to God, you are putting that person on this pedestal that they are equal to God. That is like a big no-no in the faith. It's fucking unhinged. And yet, nobody calls her out on that in the administration. All of these supposed Christians have no problem with her saying things like that and acting this way. It's baffling. Well, it's actually not baffling when you stop to realize that none of them actually care about Christianity. They are using it. To them, it is nothing more than a tool to be utilized to get people latched onto their bosom. Because if they can convince people that what they're doing is righteous and chosen by God, then people would be afraid to go against it, thinking that they have to fall in line, otherwise they've deviated from the path of the Lord. That's their whole tactic. That is the playbook that they're using. It is sickening. And it's working for them. It's working extremely well for them. Like just yesterday, Paula White had this to say about President Trump and his experience and how similar it is to our Lord and Savior.
But the truth of it is you are here because of God and because of you. And I just wanted to share this thought and pray over President Trump. Jesus taught us so many lessons through his death, burial, and resurrection. He showed us great leadership. Great transformation requires great sacrifice. And Mr. President, no one has paid the price like you have paid the price. It almost cost you your life. You were betrayed and arrested and falsely accused. It's a familiar pattern that our Lord and Savior showed us. But it didn't end there for him, and it didn't end there for you. God always had a plan. On the third day, he rose, he defeated evil, he conquered death, hell, and the grave. And because he rose, we all know that we can rise. And sir, because of his resurrection, you rose up. Because he was victorious, you were victorious. And I believe that the Lord said to tell you this. Because of his victory, you will be victorious in all you put your hand to.
Comparing Trump's journey to that of Jesus Christ. Wow. Powerful stuff, Paula. You know, when you put it that way, and I really stopped to marinate and stew, giving it a lot of thought, I actually think that my life's journey is pretty similar to that of Master Chief's. Huh. Isn't that some shit? Now, I know I've mentioned this a couple times in the past when covering people like Paula. I am not as spiritual as I used to be. Growing up, I was very, very religious. As I said, I got baptized twice because I was concerned that God may have been AFK for the first one, and I wanted to make sure that You know, he had front row seats and popcorn ready for the second one, just in case. So I came in there with the round 2 for the Jumbotron. It was a huge part of my life. And even though I'm not as spiritual now as I was then, I still care deeply for it. And seeing that this is becoming so common now is just gross. It's so fucking abhorrent. Paula White Cain is a televangelist demon. Her whole career is built off of begging for money from her followers. And she still actively does that while being the spiritual advisor to Donald Trump. In fact, her 2026 Unleashed conference, she had this wonderful moment.
Because I'm telling you, there's an anointing of release right now. I want $100,000 to come in. I want $100,000. There are 10 people that could give $10,000. There's 100 people that could give $1,000.
How selfless, how noble. She wants $100,000. Fork it over, cough it up, guys. Where's the $100,000? I know I said that she begs for money, but it's actually more accurate to say that she demands money. And she tries to present it as though if you don't give money to her, you are doing a disservice in the eyes of the Lord. This is a common tactic used by televangelists that have done this for many, many moons now, but very few of them have the same kind of power and influence that Paula White Cain does. One notable person that I'm sure a lot of you have heard of and someone that I've made a couple videos on is Kenneth Copeland. He's the guy who's very open about like how important it is that he has his private jet. So keep giving him money. He's the pastor and the Lord needs him to have a private jet, so give him money. Paula White Cain is cut from that same cloth. She is still actively doing this and demanding money from people in her church, and it is just disgusting.
Get a check, make it payable to Paula White Ministry. There are people that are watching right now. If you say, I don't have it, give $100. Bring up a sacrificial seed. This isn't for me. This is about kids that will die without you being obedient. This is about kids who are going to be minstrels and instruments and warriors and mighty for God. This is about kids who are going to make a difference. I'm not going to take everybody's blessing. Come on. I'm going to tell you, get a seed of sacrifice. There's only 3 envelopes. I'm not moving. I'm not going to lay hands on people till you're obedient. Get out of your seat. Come on and come bring up a seed. Because I'm telling you, there's an anointing of release right now. I want $100,000.
She says verbatim that there are kids that will die without you being obedient and giving her money. Oh no, the money is not about me. It's about these kids. We need the $100,000 now. If you can't afford that, the $1,000, then give $100. You gotta give something. If you don't give something, you're a bad person for it. You don't want to be a bad person, do you? Well, come give Paula White Cain some money. It is something that she has done her whole life.
And I believe that when you honor God on Passover, starting on April 12th at sundown through Good Friday on the 18th and concluding on Easter Sunday, you can receive these 7 supernatural blessings for you and your house. According to Exodus 23, God will assign an angel to you. He'll be an enemy to your enemies. He'll give you prosperity. He'll take sickness away from you. He will give you long life. He'll bring increase in inheritance, and he'll give a special year of blessing. You're not doing this to get something, but you're doing it in honor to God, realizing what you can receive.
For your special Passover offering of $1,000 or more as the Holy Spirit leads, you will also receive the beautiful 10-inch Waterford Crystal Cross. Don't miss your moment to release 7 supernatural blessings and provision into your life.
That's right, you heard it here first. God can take your sickness away, but only if you send $1,000 to Paula White Cain first. Paula will get God on the horn and ensure that you receive these 7 blessings, but it's going to require $1,000, which is chump change compared to what you'll receive for it. It's transactional, so donate $1,000 to Paula White and receive these 7 blessings to save your life and increase your life, and also get this specialty cross. I'm confident that the people that followed Paula and Trump, and when they talk about how he's like Jesus and saying no to Trump is like saying no to God, I'm very certain these individuals have never read the Bible at all. Probably have never opened the Bible, and they just bite on to their words and accept them as truth, and that Paula and Trump are infallible because they are chosen by God. But if you ever decide to actually read the Bible yourself, you're going to see a lot of what they are demonstrating is directly frowned upon in the Bible. Most notably, Matthew 21:12. This gets brought up a lot in regards to frauds like Paula. This is when Jesus enters the temple and drives out all those who were buying and selling there. He overturned the tables of the money changers and the benches of those selling doves. He declared to them, "It is written, my house will be called a house of prayer, but you are making it a den of robbers." And depending on the versions, it changes a little bit, but the message is always the same. Jesus throws out those who use his temple as a means of profiting off of others instead of a house of worship. That is exactly what Paula and many others in this administration explicitly do, blatantly. It is corrupt, it is completely unacceptable, and unfortunately is being normalized, and it shouldn't be. So I really wanted to yap about Paula here, and yeah, that's really about it. So yeah. You might be surprised to learn that there's big drama bubbling over in regards to the Super Mario Galaxy movie and the reception to it. So, in a nutshell, there's actually a few different things going on. A lot of bloody battles being fought with mangled corpses left in the wake. The Thunderdome that's claimed the most souls here is about the critic score versus the audience score on Rotten Tomatoes. People are having a fiery conversation, a lot of shit and spit flying about the discrepancy between the two, arguing that it illustrates that critics are just this worthless fungus that are out of touch and don't represent like real taste, and the audience score is the only reliable metric on Rotten Tomatoes. And I actually half agree. I'm not exactly the biggest fist-pumping enthusiast for critic scores. I'll often check like what critics are saying about a new game or a new movie or show that's come out just to kind of get a gauge of what to expect when going into it, but I never take their word as gospel, and whatever the score they give it isn't something that computes in my head and changes the way I view it, but it is something I at least look at, though I don't put a ton of stock into it. And this is coming from someone who always gives an opinion on like new games, movies, and shows. I do that very often, but I would never consider myself a critic. I'm just a fucking guy who goes and watches a bunch of shit and plays a bunch of shit, and I'll just tell you what I thought of it. That's kind of the end of that. Not a whole lot else to digest there. So you can agree or disagree with it till the cows come home. I'm never really trying to give some kind of like objective metric on if something was actually like amazing or dog shit. Just in my eyes, if it was great or poo-poo. But I fully, whole hog, full chub disagree with the other half of the argument that the audience scores is the one that's actually indicative of the quality of something. I have screamed this from the mountaintops for years that Rotten Tomatoes, Jesus Christ, I sound like an actual Neanderthal. Rotten Tomatoes audience score is almost as useless as Pam Bondi. It's not like that's somehow more reliable in any way, shape, or form. Now, critic reviews, especially in recent times, are extremely all over the place and, you know, oftentimes very out of touch. I agree with that. But audience scores, it's not like they're free from that sin either. Basically, every movie ever that comes out has a pretty high audience score on Rotten Tomato, no matter how terrible it is. Something could hit the theaters tomorrow, you know, The Haunting of Titty Nippleless, and it'll be the worst thing your eyes have ever seen. Like, actually an affront to God. And then you'll check the audience score on Rotten Tomatoes, and it's like 75%. And genuinely, do this right now. Any movie that you've seen that you didn't like, check the audience score on Rotten Tomatoes. It's probably pretty high. Like, recently, Scream 7 came out. That movie's pretty trash. 75% on Rotten Tomatoes. Do this for anything. Look at one of the worst Disney movies to come out in recent memory, Snow White from last year. 69% on Rotten Tomatoes for the audience score. Look at the worst Marvel movies of the last half decade. 75%, 77%, 79%, 76%. It is a given that anything that comes out is going to have a pretty respectable Rotten Tomatoes audience score. It's almost a guarantee, like the sun rising every day. It's very, very rare to see like an actual catastrophic audience score for a film. Like even The Strangers Chapter 3 from last year, genuinely the conclusion to the worst horror trilogy ever made. And just as a reminder, in case you don't know, because a lot of you probably don't, they rebooted The Strangers. I'm not talking about The Strangers with Liv Tyler from way back in the day, which is a classic. They rebooted it with Chapter 1, 2, and 3. Genuinely the worst horror trilogy ever made. And the conclusion is perhaps one of the worst pieces of horror that has ever fucking contaminated the cinema. Even that has a 49% Rotten Tomatoes audience score. So I'm not a big believer that the audience score is somehow the correct metric, because no matter what, it's always going to be significantly higher than it should ever have any right to be for things that are actually bad. So Super Mario Galaxy movie having a 90% doesn't mean that it's a masterpiece that just critics don't understand. It just means fans are very excited about it. And thus they go and just storm 10 out of 10 reviews, which jacks the score way up, and everything's always positive. Like, the audience score isn't much better than critics, is the point I'm making. Now, with that out of the way, let's get into the meat and potatoes of the Super Mario Galaxy movie. I gave you my thoughts on it a couple days ago. Overall, I think it is worse than the first Mario Brothers movie, which I actually really enjoyed. I think it is a huge step backwards. It is basically Jingling Keys, the movie. A lot of people are calling it that, and that's exactly what it is. It's a movie that has pretty much no substance at all. There's not even really a plot. There's a few plot elements that constantly are jumbled around. It is a mess in everything except for its visuals. Its animation is stunning. It's very colorful, and it's very fun animation to watch, especially with the fights, and the music is absolutely slapping. They got boner jams out the wazoo there with very recognizable tracks remixed, and they sound great. But as a film, it is not very good. Basically, the film's formula is, here's something, and now that something is solved in the next 3 minutes. So that way they can get to the next something and just keep ham-fisting cameos till the cows come home the entire journey of this film. It is basically a movie that is all designed to just have you point at the screen going, oh, I recognize that, I get that reference. You know, it's basically like the Star Wars formula where fans, glup shitto out anytime they recognize something. That is the Super Mario Galaxy film. It is entirely built around just, here's like a small problem that is so small that we solve it in 2 minutes. So that way we can get to the next small thing and show you some more cameos, and then we can solve that real quick to get to the next thing. The story flows like it's actually a child playing with action figures and making up a story as they go along. And then Mario beats them, and then Bowser gets teleported out of the bee mines right after he hits the first rock, so he's reunited with his son, and then he forgets all about Mario and Luigi and their friendship, so that way they can blow up things in the universe with Planet Bowser, and then everything it gets solved real quick. It's just a mess. It is genuinely a mess. But like I said, it is Jingling Keys, the movie, so kids are absolutely going to love it. And that is mainly what it's catering to, more so than the first film. I thought the first film was enjoyable for anyone of all ages. It was just a good time. This is solely for children, I would say, or fans of the property that just want to point at the screen going, I remember that, or watching some fights that are cool. The fights are cool. It's just there's no real substance around them. Now, if you like it, all power to you. All I'm saying is, it's just not really a very good movie, I don't think. So there's nothing wrong with pointing that out. But now people are vilifying anyone that doesn't like it, saying like, oh, they're expecting it to be Shawshank Redemption, this kids movie. It's disgusting. It's ridiculous how anyone would dare critique a children's film. It's just amazing how far we've devolved, where now kids films and kids shows and anything geared towards kids is just expected to be trash. Like, it's just accepted that it's just going to be slop, sludge, garbage, just radioactive ooze. And if you try and, like, point out, some flaws in it, you're the bad guy. It's weird to say that something like this has problems. It makes no sense to me, because it's not like we were always this way. Look at the Emoji Movie. The Emoji Movie came out like a decade ago, and everyone hated that. Everyone was critiquing it, rightfully so. It was a dog shit film, but it was solely for children. If the Emoji Movie came out today, I bet people would keep this same energy of, well, why are you critiquing the Emoji Movie? It's for kids. This is dumb. It does exactly what it needs to do. My kids love it, which means it's the perfect film. You're dumb for pointing out flaws. It's just very interesting to see how we've reached this point in a pretty short period of time. Just because something is catered towards a young audience doesn't mean it has to be bad. Take, for example, Transformers 1, to go from recent memory. That is an animated feature film that is geared towards children, but it's also just a genuinely good movie. And there's plenty of other examples to pull from, like Toy Story. I just find it so fucking lame that we're in this era where the prevailing perspective is, yeah, it's a kid's movie, so of course it's gotta be slop. Get over it. Like, that's like the main perspective now. Very fucking dumb. But by far the dumbest part of this genre, and what I've been saving for last, the best part of it, is now Super Mario Galaxy has been fully politicized. Like, now it's become a huge political battle about conservatives versus liberals because, I mean, in the age of Twitter, it's gotta be. So I shit you not, there's been a huge debate about it because people are saying, oh, all these critics are giving Mario Galaxy bad reviews because they're all woke fucking liberals that just can't tolerate a good old-fashioned conservative film with conservative values. Which blew me away, which, like, I found it to be a crazy take, but this tweet right here is one that I've seen reposted on a ton of pages. The protagonist is male. There are no black people. There are no homosexuals. The main romance is heterosexual. If your movie meets these standards, it will be vilified by the media. Different iterations of that have been spewed out and regurgitated by the thousands of drones that do rage bait on Twitter, the blue check marks. But this is something that people are having a real conversation about, which is crazy because the last Mario Brothers movie was applauded far more by most people, myself included. It was just a better film. But it was the same thing. Protagonist was male. There were no black characters. There were no homosexual characters. And the romance was still heterosexual. It's like they forgot that this is the sequel to a movie, and that the main complaint about this one is that it's worse than the last one. This film relies solely on, remember this, remember this, remember this, who gets this reference, who gets this reference, oh, come on, jingling keys, don't fall asleep, come on. It's just not very good. Like, I just don't feel it's as good as the last movie, and a lot of people share that sentiment. It has nothing to do with any of what this garbage they're spewing out is. That's the biggest fucking nothing burger ever. Because it is following the exact same formula from the last movie, it just does it worse. And really, if you want to dive into the nitty-gritty, Super Mario Galaxy is significantly more woke than the last Mario movie. By their standards of wokeness, this one turned the dial up past 10. This shit went turbo mode in wokeness. I feel like they haven't even seen the film and they're talking about it like this. Jiminy Christmas, one of the core elements of the plot here, one of the few plot elements they don't just forget about and wipe their ass with and abandon immediately, is the fact that Peach is a badass who doesn't need saving. She is now just fully capable of just clapping cheeks and saving her sister herself, and that sister connection is the strongest force in the universe. Big spoiler alert, the entire day is saved, the whole universe is saved by Peach and Rosalina touching hands, and the force of their sisterhood and their powers together combined instantly saved the day. By all of the definitions that they have ever talked about in regards to other films, this would be something that they would call a girl boss character and a woke film, but for some reason, now they're arguing the opposite. It's so peculiar. Because if you actually watch this movie and you are trying to follow their logic, then this film being more woke by their standards than the last one should mean that it has a higher critic score, like is more positively received by critics than the last one. But it's not. But the point is, this is just a complete nothing statement about it being, you know, it's conservative versus liberal. That's what it all boils down to. It doesn't. It's just not really a great movie, and it's a huge step back from the last Mario Brothers movie. That's really it. It doesn't go deeper than that. Again, most of the formula is still exactly the same from the last one. They just do it worse and messier and rely significantly more on just cameos and remember this, remember that, who gets this reference, that kind of thing, which isn't overly great. And it's something that gets criticized often in other things like Star Wars. So all of a sudden now it's weird to say that that's like a negative about a film. It's just, the whole discourse around the Super Mario Galaxy movie is fucking wacky. I had to yap about it. I couldn't resist yapping about it. Anyway, that's about it. See ya. And one. It's a foul all day, baby. Now what? Coward? Got you to bite on that fraudulent Hezzy Jimbo. Now I'm going to the line for free throws while you go to the bench to nurse those bum ankles, weenie. Point is, I hate Pokemon scalpers. I think most of you know that by now. I've made who knows how many videos shooting spitballs at these pathetic, loveless worms. I can't resist the urge to hawk loogies on this community, and today I was blessed with yet another display of degeneracy from these absolute low amoebas that just cannot stop trying to exploit a children's hobby for teensy tiny financial gain. It is shameful.
What? Fed's doing nothing, bro. Fed's doing nothing. Should we go in? Fuck it.
It's an actual thoughtless horde of zombies. So Sports Direct was having some ETBs available for the new Pokemon set Ascended Heroes, and this crowd couldn't wait. They literally broke through the barricade there. They broke through the gate in order to get in there and get their grubby little paws on some Pokemon product. Now, I did see a lot of people criticizing Sports Direct, saying that they should have had buy limits of like 1 or 2 per person. From all the evidence I can see, they did. I've seen 3 examples of people that were here and walked away, and in all 3 examples, they only had 2 ETBs each. So I think they actually did have buy limits, but just so many people are like moths to a flame that when they see Pokemon, they just throw out every other fucking thing in their brain. Like every other neuron shuts down and only activates to go there and beat down the walls until they can get some Pokemon product. So even though there were buy limits of only 2, that was enough to have people this ballistic over it so they could turn around and sell it on Facebook Marketplace for an additional like $5 a profit. It really is just that out of control that people will react like this to Pokemon even knowing that they can only get 2. These are not collectors, these are scalpers, and that is still to them worthwhile to go in there and just break shit, cause a ruckus, cause a mess just to get some precious treasure, some Pokemon ETBs in their mitts. It's craziness, actual fucking craziness. And you're crazy if you don't go check out the new Starforge Freerun collab. Best PCs in the universe, and they just got a little better with the Freerun collab that we're doing right now, so you can check that out in the link in the description.
Fucking, this is wild, bro. I'm recording the whole thing. This is wild, mate. Look at this shit. What the fuck, mate? I ain't even trying to get no Pokemon, man. This is just wild, mate. They broke open the shoes everywhere, man.
That weak-ass little jog that a few of them are doing are probably the most movement they've experienced since fucking high school PE class. So now they're all kind of jogging to get in line as quickly as possible so they can get the Ascended Heroes ETBs, wee whoopee! And they can't even just have the decency to not just destroy things along the way. So I guess they were bumping and grinding on each other and their grease causing so much friction that I guess they fucking spun out like it was Mario Kart when you hit a banana peel and they started knocking shoes off the shelf, all on their warpath to get in line for Pokemon. These fucking worms just can't even be somewhat organized and not cause a mess wherever they go. They already broke down the fucking doors just to get in here, and they still had to go a step further and just start knocking shit over too. It's just so cringe.
This is insane. Bro, this is wild, man. Oh, bro, get in this way, get in this way. Get in here. I'm with you. Insane.
It is insane. By the literal definition, this is an actual fucking mental disorder that we're witnessing here. There's also some people that are trying to pretend that they were collectors. Some of the people that showed up in this video after they got clowned on are saying, no, I was there because I'm a Pokemon collector. Baloney! That's fucking barnacles. No, you are not. I am confident there's not a single legitimate collector here. It's all of these hype goblins that are constantly scrapping over crumbs from the Pokemon hysteria, trying to get a little cheese by flipping these for a small markup on the secondary market. It's what all of them are doing, but now since everybody in the world is aware of this behavior, everybody hates scalpers. So now they're trying to be like, no, I was surrounded by scalpers, but trust me, I'm actually a collector. They don't want to be identified as a scalper here, so now they're like, no, I was a collector in the middle of this madness. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. It's despicable to the hobby. But they're actually just there so they can try and turn a profit off of the product too. No actual collector is going to be engaging in this way with the hobby, or at least very few of them would. The only people doing this are the scalpers that are ruining the entire hobby across all TCGs right now.
Nothing. What are you doing? Oh! Big ball!
Just look at the way these worms flex. So they filled up a U-Haul truck with Ascended mini tins. That's what's being thrown on there, the golden shower of mini tins. And Nikocado Avocado there, the protagonist, I guess, of Trader's Shop, is over there opening some packs, not getting any hits, and then he dives into the back of more, all while normal people and children, mainly, cannot get their hands on this product. Ordinary families that want to engage with this hobby, Pokemon cards, don't really have any way of doing it without going through scumbags like this because they are squatting on the entire inventory. So what Trader's Shop here is doing is they have this massive amount of product and they're opening it to sell on their streams. And naturally, these sales are often higher than the MSRP that you would have paid had you been able to get it in an official capacity through like Target or Walmart or your local card shop. But because these fucking losers swoop in here and buy up everything they can get their fucking hands on, people then go to the secondary market like this and end up paying more than the MSRP on the product because, well, the scalpers gotta make their cheddar on it, and it's actual tiddlywinks of cheddar, mind you. Like, it's a couple extra bucks, but that sucks for normal people who don't engage with the secondary market. Like I said, kids. Kids aren't going to be going around on Whatnot and TikTok Shop and going to Trader's Shop to spend their parents' money, use their credit card to buy that product. At least, I hope they don't. They shouldn't. But what kids would do is while out shopping with their parents at like a Target or Walmart, they might go over to the card section and see Pokemon product and ask their parents if they could get some. That's how it used to be. That's how it was supposed to be. But now, because of this craze here, that doesn't happen anymore. It is entirely just these fucking greasy assholes that have taken all of it and are now hawking it on the secondary market over MSRP. So if a family wants to get their children some of this product, they have to go through them to do it, and they spend more on it. It's tragic. And people like Trader's Shop here are unapologetically just showcasing this gluttony as if it's something cool or something to be proud of. It seems like Trader's Shop is always live, so I went to one of their streams for a little bit. It sucked major ass, but the most egregious example of their greed is their just general pricing throughout the shop. Just scrolling around any of it, everything they have is extremely high. So like an Ascended Heroes booster pack from them is 15 clams, which when you compare it to listings from hundreds of card shops across the country, the average seems to be about $11 per booster pack on Ascended Heroes. But if you look at their perfect order booster box price, $320 for a perfect order booster box. If you look around any actual reputable card shop across the country going through like TCG Player or anywhere else, you can find them for $205. In fact, the highest I really see them go is $220. Yet through Trader's Shop, you're paying $320? Am I understanding that correctly? Holy shit, their greed is even more despicable than most other scalpers I see. And yet they still have the gall to make one of those videos when you get no hits out of your Ascended packs with a fucking U-Haul full of Ascended Heroes mini tins. Holy shit. This is gross. Anyway, I hate this garbage. Wanted to yap about it. That's about it. See ya.